I'm here with the Bullet, Valentina Shevchenko, who looks to reclaim the flyweight championship of the world this Saturday at UFC Noche against Alexa Grasso. So what was the difference in the preparation in this one? I saw you went to Thailand. It seems like you go to different camps for all of your different fights. Why this particular camp for this one?
First of all, Tiger Muay Thai, it's gym, like my home gym. I represent Tiger Muay Thai. I represent this gym already for 10 years. And in general, I spent already like 20 years in Thailand, fighting, training, 17 World Muay Thai champion. And every time when I have opportunity, not just having a training camp in Thailand, but actually living in Thailand like 6 months, 7 months. I do that because this country, I love a lot. I like the culture. I like the traditions. I like to speak Thai. I like Thai food, and this is where I feel like good balance between amazingly strong trainings and good quality time to recover.
And is a lot of that about going back to your roots as well? I know Muay Thai obviously is near and dear to your heart.
Yes, exactly, because it's kind of like sport where I was what I was doing for so many years, and so many amazing experience and like history what I have with Muay Thai, and it's definitely kind of like my sport number one.
I would love to ask you about being a challenger. You haven't been a challenger for a long time when it comes to the championship. Do you like being a challenger more because you can focus on one particular opponent? You know, when you're a champion, it's always like, oh, who's after them? Who's next? Let's watch all the different contenders and try to prepare for all of them. Whereas when you're the challenger, you get to really focus in on one particular task.
It's kind of like yes, in this position you kind of like challenger, but in the same time you still champion, because you just cannot get rid from all the years of your experiences. Let's say I'm a challenger. No, I never gonna be feeling like that, because I know who I am. I know what I have to do for like reclaim my belt. And if the situation went the other way, it doesn't mean that you are not a champion, but because this is the most important, what you are inside feeling.
This is something of a foreign situation for you, as you've never lost your championship before. You get to avenge a loss this time around. Does that give you a different sort of fire than the one you usually have?
It's of course it's changed. It's changed a lot, and it's like in the way of preparation, in the way of motivation, in the way of approach, and definitely it's kind of like you don't have choice now. You just have to be super strong. You just have to be super powerful, and like go there in the octagon with no mercy, with no like just go there, destroy, and take what you have to take.
I want to ask you about approach because I think it's very important in this situation. In the last fight, Alexa, you could see videos of her training for the situation that ultimately led to her winning the belt. And she says that there are more of those situations that her and her team have picked apart and found. For a lot of your preparation for this, have you watched old matchups of your own to try to say, oh, I could do that better. I could clean this up, fix that. Whereas instead of having to train for Alexa and what she does, almost going back in time and seeing the different things that you do and cleaning that up.
Actually, yes, it was a lot of studying, a lot of watching the different like fights and everything. Yes, definitely, but also like focusing on your like abilities to put them in the like higher performance and higher peak of the performance, not just like have them like in a good shape, but in the best shape.
Does that loss particularly eat at you? Because when I think Valentina Shevchenko, I think every part of your game is so refined, and it's so hard to find something in your game to pick apart that you can actually take advantage of. And she was able to do that, which so few people have even come close to doing against you. So when you think of that particular loss, does it irk you more knowing that that's what happened?
I'm here not speaking about like the loss and like all this stuff, because it's what it happened. It happened. What I had to take from that fight, I already took. And here, I'm here to speak about the my preparation, about the what I will do for take this belt, and I will do that. I like will go there with a lot of like intentions to actually finish the fight very soon, and like just do it in a very very strong manner.
So you talk about that intention this time around. Last time around, was that intention not there as much, or?
Maybe there was not as much. Maybe I had like more sympathy for her as a fighter. Maybe it was the mistake.
There's also a level of comfort. I mean, when you're the champion for a long time, everybody's looking at the champion. Everybody wants to find something that they can pick apart with the champion. And it's hard to continue to get up constantly for new challengers.
I would say for someone maybe it's hard, but for me no. I don't feel comfortable like being. Definitely, when you are a champion, you kind of like feel comfortable, but it's not about me. Every single fight, every single defense, every single like new opponent, it's a new history. It's new preparation, and my mindset it's still the same. What happened on that fight? It's just like proving that MMA it's a sport where there is like you have to be perfect, you have to be universal, you have to do everything right from the beginning to the end. It's proving that MMA it's this is like how dangerous this sport is, and I'm here to like to make this time everything right.
What did you learn from that, though? Because you've always been someone, whenever I talk to you before a fight, you've never overlooked the challenger. Perfection is something that I think you've always strived for. It's not possible to achieve really in MMA, but you can get to as close as perfect as possible. So what do you learn from that particular night that when it comes to perfection in mixed martial arts?
That it's not gonna happen ever again.
Just that, like a situation like that won't
Yep.
happen again.
Yep.
And can you explain why?
Because this is what I feel, this is what I want, this is what I will do.
And in terms of, again, going into this fight, what's the difference with Valentina Shevchenko today standing next to me compared to previous fights going into a fight? Is there a difference?
I would say yes, definitely there is a difference, and definitely there is a like mindset, because right now, if you like would ask me in the previous fight what you're thinking to do after the fight, and I was saying like, oh, okay, I go there, I there, but now right now I there is no tomorrow for me. There is only September 16th for me. I live only like this is the limit, no more future.
Yeah, that's kind of what I asked you about off the top, right? About being a challenger is like you have that mentality where it's so laser focused, and I feel like you're so dangerous with that mentality.
This is, I think, this is why I am who I am. This is why I am Bullet Valentina. This is why I was champion for so long. And my goal to continue. If I have to do all over again, I will do all over again. I don't have any problem with that.
All right, so I want to ask you about something a little bit off of this particular fight. We did a survey. I got 24 different people, fighters, people that are coaches, broadcasters, to submit their top 10 female UFC fighters of all time. So they take into consideration what you've done in the UFC, outside of the UFC, and the only people eligible are champions, former title challengers, and people that are ranked right now in the top 5. Where do you think you landed if you had to guess in this top 10 list
I don't
based
know.
on the voting?
People have so many different opinions. Let's see that.
Well,
Let's see the list.
It's 24 people, so it's based on the averages, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you had to guess, what do you think the average would be? Like, where do you think you would fall?
For me, it's every time hard to speak about myself. If I don't know if I would be in that list, I already happy.
Well, you are number 2 in this list, behind Amanda Nunes. And here's the top. Let's go through the top 5. So it's Amanda, yourself at number 2, Ronda Rousey number 3, Chris Cyborg number 4, and Joanna Jędrzejczyk, a previous opponent of yours, number 5. Then you've got Zhang Wei Li, Rose, Holly Holm, Misha Tate, and Alexa at number 10. What do you think of this list? What would you change?
Would I change? I think first two names I would change.
You'd swap. You'd put yourself number 1.
Actually, this is the type of the question where what I never will feel comfortable.
I know you always believe that the media and other people should say it.
And this is kind of like the questions that I was trying to escape all the time, because I don't like to put myself on top.
Okay, let's take Valentina out. Valentina is not part of this list. Let's say you've
also,
never fought.
It's not also fair, because I've been in fighting business like 30 years. I dedicate all my life to martial arts. That's why kind of like we cannot take myself out of this. It's kind of like it's going to be not right.
Right, but if you're making a list, you're not allowed to include yourself. Does this look accurate to you? Where would you have? Is there anything you would change about this list?
I would have Holly Holm, Chris Cyborg, Holly Holm, Joanna, Rose, Bailey, Misha, Alexa.
And you keep Ronda at number 3?
Who's number 2 then?
Oh, right. So you move Ronda up to number two,
Yep.
right? Now you're following my instructions, right? I'm not following my own instructions. So Ronda would be number two. Okay, very interesting. So it's interesting to hear your thoughts on
But you
that.
know, it's kind of like also if you're saying about perspective of mm, championships, I mean, like winning history and everything, yes, probably this is accurate, the list. But if we are speaking in general term, what uh, every single woman she did for the entire sport, then I think Ronda should be on number one.
Yeah, I've had that same
Hmm.
conversation with some
So
people.
it's kind of like depends what list we based on.
Do you wish you would have had a chance to fight Ronda Rousey?
Oh, it would be amazing, but it's kind of like I don't know. It's very hard for me to say right now because we kind of like in different times fighting, and I feel that everything. Everyone coming in their own timing in their own right. I think it would be very interesting fight, but also I feel that she is in the place where she has to be right now, and it's amazing because kind of like she has her own legacy, what she built it, and it's kind of like what it is. So even like fights happening, not happening, I think it's already like amazing things.
And I know you're focused so much on Alexa, but if you were to think in 5 years, who in the UFC right now do you think we're going to see on this list?
If you say is the same question 5 years ago,
5 years from
it's
now, like five
no,
years
no,
later.
no. I mean,
Oh,
like
okay.
if you would ask that 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
you never would say like something like you would expect having them fighting in the same list. So it's 5 years for the world of MMA. It's too much. It's can change like a little bit, but it can change like all over. It
Ah,
could change like 100%, like other side.
well, I mean, look at what happened this past weekend. And if you look at all of the champions of the UFC, there's only two that have held the belt for more than a year. Like, it's just the changes keep happening so rapidly in this sport.
This is about MMA. This is the kind of sport but you have to be every time in your physical and mental condition super high, and it's kind of like this is what's hard about this sport.
Is that your favorite thing about it? Is that because the game is growing and changing so much, you need to be so sharp and so far ahead of the curve. And that's what you've always kind of prided yourself on as a mixed martial artist.
I would say my favorite thing in martial arts, it's not just evolving the game about like all the pressure what we feel like mental and physical, but my personal favorite thing, it's about the opportunities what martial arts give you, what like inner power you can feel because of martial arts, what you are doing like day by day, what confidence it gives you, what beauty in your body it gives you. It's like it's much more just one thing, it's just entire life changing thing.
Is that why your mother is such a good role model for you? Because she's like a lifelong martial artist and you can see that she continues to stay with it as she gets older?
It's true. She is my role model. My sister, she is role model. My coach Pavel, he's my role model because all these people, they are kind of like dedicated their life to martial arts. It doesn't mean that we're gonna like when we have our quiet moment, like family moment, we speak only about the fights or something like that. No, we are speaking about the food, about traveling, but the things that what unite us, it's martial arts, and it's amazing to know because it's very strong. It's the idea of martial arts, idea of the sport. I'm speaking about MMA, mixed martial arts, idea that there is a sport that can be universal, that fighter can do everything, the idea what Bruce Lee was teaching like in his time. It's kind of like now we can see how far it can go, and this is what is my like favorite thing about MMA.
Now, people give you so much credit for learning all of these different languages, but martial arts is a language. I mean, it's
It
something.
is.
It's something that
for,
you've become fluent in.
for me, it's a language. For me, it's culture. For me, it's even religion.
Well, you certainly get that sense from speaking with you, as I have for several years. Just getting the energy that I get from you whenever we speak, I certainly feel that. So, looking forward to seeing you do your thing on Saturday and on your quest to reclaim the flyweight championship of the world. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.